Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Wonderful Business World Web Summit. I am your host, Dee Collins, and I'm just stopping by to introduce our next guest and our next speaker, an absolutely amazing woman. She is my business associate, she is my friend, and I also consider her my sister. Her name is Toni Kaufman, and she is the CEO of KDDM Inc. And she is more than amazing. I don't even have words to describe this woman, but she is going to show you how to quickly go from Web Summit to TV, sometimes in less than 90 days. So she's going to show you how to go from Web Summit to TV, and she's also going to show you how to bring out your inner celebrity, because she is the queen of bringing out your inner celebrity. So I won't keep you any longer because I want to get to Toni, and we're going to dive right in. This interview, I believe, is already in progress. So just hold on just a minute so I can get you over to the next screen and we can hear from Toni. I think you're really, really going to enjoy this interview. And be sure to tune into some of the other talks that we have on the summit as well. Again, I'm Dee Collins, your host of the Wonderful Business World Web Summit, and I'll see you in a minute. Screen, I'm going to ask you to help me welcome Toni Kaufman to the Wonderful Business World Web Summit. Welcome, Toni.
Hi, Dee. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Doing good. Houston is all braced up and hunkered down, and I guess we're ready to ride things out. I've got my wine refrigerator full.
Oh,
today.
okay. Well, as long as you have your priorities straight, that's definitely a sign that you have your priorities straight. As you can see from my background, I am actually in tune with the universe, hearing from the universe. So I'm super excited on what we are going to hear from you. And I would like to first ask you, who are you, Toni Kaufman, and what do you do? You can just give us an introduction.
I'll give you the short version. How's that?
Yes.
Basically, I'm a producer.
Mm-hmm.
And since the 70s, I've been producing, whether it was locally originated programming all the way down to casting some pretty amazing shows that are in everybody's living room at some point in their life. I had the pleasure and honor of working with Fremantle Media and Fremantle Media Latin America. And so you know the shows, you know The Price is Right, you know the American Idol, you know America's Top Model, Family Feud. And on the Fremantle Media Latin America version is we cast all the same shows, but in Spanish. And
Wow.
So American Idol is called Objetivo Fama, Objective Fame. America's Top Model is Belleza Latina. Family Feud is Que Dice La Gente, which means what people say. So every show that runs on the English market also runs, almost every show on the Spanish market as well. And so I had the pleasure of being with a very unique, strong group of Hispanic women, and we took it upon ourselves to get all these, as many Americans as we could on these shows, and we did that for about 3.5 years.
Sí, es fantástico. My limited abilities in speaking Spanish.
I love it.
I know that you have like so many stories, so much experience, so many people that you know and have known, and just so many things that you have done that are phenomenal and outside of the ordinary of what we usually know. And I know that you're a very modest person, but I just want you to share just right now, before we get into your presentation for the summit, that I want you to share some things, some experiences in your life, maybe some stories that you have or advice that you have for entrepreneurs before you tell them how they can quickly go from Web Summit to TV.
Thank you, Dee. And there's always good stories. you know, from personal stories of finding the true love of my life and having 33 wonderful years with someone who was my best friend, you know, was always there to support me, and all the way to working with the President of the United States. It was President George H.W., the daddy, Bush.
Yes, super
And
exciting.
that was really exciting because basically I had a computer school, and I was at that time teaching people how to use Windows, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, you know, and we had a very, very big contract downtown Houston. And one day I was taken out to lunch, and the CTO said, Tony, and I said, yes, sir. He says, I've been charged with finding the best computer trainer in the country. He says, and I think that's you. And I'm like, yeah, right.
Oh yeah, he found the best for sure. I know it.
Anyway, so I was appointed to head the transition team to bring President Bush back home. And so we set up Kennebunkport, we set up his new home, we set up the library, we set up his office at 10,000 Memorial, and had some pretty incredible stories to tell.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because when you're in it, you're just doing the work, right? You don't ever realize that this magical thing is happening all around you. And so I think your favorite story is the one about Charlie. Is that right?
Well, I will say this. Before we get into that, I do want to say that before I ever knew this story about you, before I knew about you being the computer trainer for the president, uh, I I always saw something in you where I would say that woman is absolutely presidential. And I kept saying, that you're presidential. And then when I heard that story about that, I'm like, she really is presidential.
You're 7 degrees away. You know that, right?
So you got
How does that thing
presidential
go?
in your credentials, presidential in your credentials.
Well, some people say there used to be a song in the 70s where a lady sang that she had danced with princes and dined with presidents,
Mm,
and that's pretty well there, and I had the great privilege of meeting quite a few of the princes, so to speak. My most fun that I had with the Prince of Thailand was who came to Houston back then because he was the largest distributor of computers in his nation, and he had
hmm
training schools. So we talked about setting up training schools in Thailand, and had a fabulous lunch with the young man. He had always wanted to ride in a convertible, and I guess back in his country, the princes can't ride in convertibles.
Oh,
And I
really?
happen to have one, so President Bush called me into the office and says, "Take this young man out to lunch." And I said, "Sure." And his big giant bodyguards were like, "No, no, no."
Well, let me tell you this. I have never danced with princes and I have not dined with presidents, but I have kissed a lot of frogs. And, my mom read me the story when I was a little girl, and out of all the frogs I've kissed, because I think frogs are really gross, none of them turned into a prince. But you know what? So none of those turned into a prince. You have helped me go from princess to queen by helping to bring out my inner celebrity, and I will be forever grateful to you for that. So before we get into your presentation, because I know that we don't have a lot of time today and that you do have so much to share, before we get into the presentation, can you just say why you have a passion for bringing out the inner celebrity in people and why you think it is such an awesome experience and opportunity for them to do web summits and then go on to television, internet television, TV?
I've done a lot of production and casting, and quite honestly, when I bring both of those two skills together with what I see as the need right now to get speakers, authors, healers, and coaches out into the public, I really have, I call it a super skill. I have the ability to see beyond just even when I first met you, I saw beyond
Oh,
the little
thank
girl that
you.
was in front of me. I saw I saw the power and what comes out, and it shines. And some people shine, and some people don't, and that's okay. But I've always been blessed with the ability to see beyond where that people think they are.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody, every single one of us has a celebrity inside, every single one of us. And if you define celebrity by the ability to be in public, and my mom would say, ponte en tu lugar, which means, and know what position you are and who you are. And that's just a little bit of extra that comes. And there are a lot of people in our community that are just absolutely superstars, and they radiate, and you can tell who they are. And I feel like it's my job and my mission to get these people in front of people who, because we matter, and we
Mm-hmm.
have so much to offer. I think you and I were laughing the other day at a statement that I made that was like, I haven't met one person yet in our community in 3 or 4 years that doesn't want to leave the world better than how they found. You know,
Exactly. And I
every
noticed
single
that.
one of us have this overwhelming message that is to serve. And how do we help, and how do we help you, and what can we do for you, and how can I really make a difference in your life? And if I make a difference in your life, we'll touch 10,000 people. I mean, this is going to beat the coronavirus. Okay.
Yes.
So what we can get out from 1, 2, 3, or even in my case, I want to work with 10 people a year, and that's it, to really get them ready, camera ready, show ready, presentation ready, speaking ready, your PowerPoint ready. So there's 5 or 6 little components that I feel I can really help bring to people, and have them share their message and live their mission. And that's kind of what this is all about. So if we if we do survive this virus outbreak, and if we do survive everything else that's
Oh, not
happening.
if, when we survive it.
Well, you're right. I mean, there's going to be some pretty special people that are going.
So,
Just imagine what the healthcare workers are doing. I mean,
oh,
my heart
yeah.
goes absolutely out to them, and we pray for them.
It does. My daughter said to me the other day, and not trying to make light of anything or joke on it because it is a very serious situation. I did chuckle when she told me this though, because she spoke to a friend of hers who is a nurse, and she said being a nurse or working in the healthcare industry during coronavirus is kind of like the band that was on the Titanic saying, remember they just kept playing while the Titanic was going down, and they kept playing. And when they got to the very end, they said, it's been my extreme honor, to play with you, to work with you. I do want to comment on a couple of things that you said. You were talking about these 5 points that you want to deliver to people and bring out. And it just made me think that there's 5 points on a star. And
Oh, I
so
love it.
that's definitely
You are
bringing.
so magical. I swear you're so magical.
It is. And it's just the work that you're doing, it transcends. A lot of people, when they get older, they feel like, well, it's too late. I had all these dreams, I had all these hopes, I didn't do what I wanted to do or what I dreamed to do. And you're a total game changer, because you can take anybody, from 0 to 99 and bring out their inner celebrity. And I think that is phenomenal, the way that you can do that, the talents and the skills. And also, while you were talking, it reminded me of a quote from Helen Keller, that Helen Keller, that she was born deaf and blind, and she broke out of that darkness and eventually went on to be able to communicate. She wrote books. She was a tremendous inspiration. And one time she was being interviewed by someone, and they asked her, what could be worse than being born deaf and blind? And her response was, the only thing I can think of being worse than being born deaf and blind is to have sight with no vision. And so you are a person that has vision. That's why you're able to see the celebrity within, which you have to be able to see it before you can bring it out. And you can see more in people than they can even see in themselves. So, I definitely celebrate you for that. And I want to go ahead and get into your presentation to make sure we have enough time to share everything with everyone. And while you're preparing to share your screen, I want to let the audience that's listening know a couple of things. One, please, share this, summit. Tell somebody to tune on. If you're tuned into Tony's talk right now and you know someone that can benefit from this and they're not on the summit, message them right now, send a text message, send something by Facebook Messenger, but just get them on this talk right now. Also, I'm doing something different than you have probably ever seen in these online web summits, and I'm offering not only all of the live talks for free, as they are broadcast, but I'm offering all the replays for free. So you'll be able to watch this again and again, get the information, but I still want you to stay tuned to the end because Tony's going to be giving some great tips. She's going to be giving some phenomenal information, and we have some free gifts and some secret hidden things like we don't even know. We're kind of making it up as we go along.
We'll have Easter eggs.
What can happen? Tony, you can segue into your presentation whenever you're ready. You can share your screen, and I think
Thank you, Dee. And it's funny, chapter 1, the very first paragraph that I wrote in my book, Act 2, Your Show Must Go On. It never ceases to amaze me how much alike you and I are. But the quote is this: it's walking with a friend in the dark is better than walking alone in the light.
Ooh.
There are 2 ways of spreading light: to be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. That was Helen Keller.
Absolutely. And you see this light behind me, right?
So, yeah, I love it.
That's just a sign, and that's Helen Keller. That's awesome. So do you have...
So let's segue into it. Let's imagine. Yeah, I've got it up. But let's imagine. First of all, why is it important that me, as a speaker, author, healer, coach, whatever my designation is, whatever my community is, whatever my job is, whatever I want to bring my service is, why is it important? Number one, that I get as many podcasts, as many radio shows, as many TV shows, as many interviews, as many articles as I can out there. And the answer is so simple. You've got to keep, that's the differentiator between you and 100,000 others, is that people keep listening to you and hearing you and bringing your face to mind, and you're in their face on Facebook, on Instagram, I mean, on Twitter. There's so many wonderful ways for you to share what you're trying to accomplish, and you don't have to be salesy. Don't worry about that. What you want to do is offer, like Dee does, offer everything you can and over deliver.
Yes,
always make sure people say, God, that was really useful, Dee. Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing. So what is it that people need to do to grow, to differentiate, and to go from A to B, unknown to known? Is very simple. We've got to get you on some videos. I don't care if you're holding your phone up to your nose and talking, but we've got to get something out there that gives people the ability to KLT. All right. So KLT is to know you, to like you, to trust you, and they'll buy anything from you, because they have developed that trust. How do you develop it? If I don't know you and you see me talking or offering something on Facebook or on Facebook Live or on a podcast or on a TV show, or you read about me in the Family Circle magazine. So what makes it so important is that that's what makes people want to know more. That's what makes people want to look into working with you and maybe buying some products, that kind of thing. Whatever programs you've got, whatever it is you're selling, people need to know you first. Decide that they like you, and decide, you know what, this is a face that I could trust. This is a person that has something. So that's what I'm calling the celebrity. I don't mean that you're going to get $1 million for every motion picture that you film with Brad Pitt, although I wouldn't mind doing that. But the reality is, that we sit behind our desk, we work, we try to inspire others and move others. And with that in mind, I'm going to share the show that I prepared for you. Can you see this,
Oh,
Dee? Are we
thank you.
good?
I can see that just fine. And I'm just like, while you're talking, because iron sharpens iron, and it's like, you're like my muse. So like when I hear you speak, I get so much creativity just like erupts inside of me. And so it's not just enough to be different, but you have to do things differently. And like, I was thinking about celebrity, the word celeb, celestial, that's where stars come from, because you're so phenomenal that you're not even of this earth, because there's a great energy on the inside of you, inside of this physical body. So that celebrity, and also celebrate. So we celebrate you because you are absolutely celestial. And I'm going to let Tony go on and do her presentation
No,
right now and try to move
and
away.
you always go right to the heart of the word, which is the beginning, right? And you kind of pull the flowers in between every single way that this word has been used, and I just love that about you. Because it makes so much sense when you say it that way. But basically, what we created for 2020 was something that I call the celebrity within, because number one, I feel like everybody's got one. Number two, it really has a 1-2 punch that's publicity and promotion. And with those two things in mind, overriding as a CEO, you're always looking at the 30,000-foot view of what your company's offering and doing. That's what would help change that bottom line, because I do believe that we can never have enough promotion, we can never have enough publicity, because you want people to see you as the authority. You want
Mm-hmm.
people to see you as the celebrity, but the authority and the expert, the go-to expert. And a lot of people that I know that, it's so funny, they have all the degrees in the world and all that, they just don't feel like they're ready to be an entrepreneur because they feel like they need more cred. And I'm like, oh my God, you've got a bachelor's here, a master's here, a PhD here. What in the world are you talking? You should have already written 10 books. And if you haven't written one yet, we need to talk to Dee, okay? So,
Okay.
but yeah, I want them to become the authority, become the go-to expert. But more important than that, I want you to do it like in no time. So that's where I came up with the solution to getting you there faster. And so that's part of what I was bringing it to the table, was a way to inspire your movement, reach more audiences than you ever thought possible. And how do we do that? I've got a little company that's dedicated to doing that for you. But let me explain why we've even done this. You're in the right place. So the question is, where am I in the right place? You're in the right place when you have a message, a mission, and a vision that you want to share with the world. That's like every single one of us have that. Number two, if you
Absolutely.
want to attract, our own mentor is on a mission to affect and inspire 10, what was it, 1 million lives?
Yes.
Yeah, right. And so, I mean, it's not pie in the sky dreaming. This can really happen. I mean, I've seen it happen. So number two, you want to attract quality clients, because of course you got to make some money or this is meaningless. And you want to grow your list so that you can become what we call an influencer. And then you want to increase the movement, create your movement, and then grow your business like crazy, because now you're focused, now you have a message, now you have a vision, and now you have a mission. And so that's kind of where we're, and that's just the first two reasons. How else do you know you're in the right place, Dee? You went, go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to say, I don't know if you can see on your screen, but do you see your screen and do you see our two little boxes to the side with our little
Yeah,
videos? And so it just reminded me of what was that game show with the squares on it with the celebrities in it?
Hollywood Squares.
Yes, a miniature Hollywood
Or
square.
hi, Dee, how are you?
Sorry, but I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I had to let
No,
that.
no problem. That's cute. Um, So anyway, the third reason that you're here is because you want to make a lot of noise. You want to stand out from the crowd. You want to make a big impact with your gifts and how you can help others with your programs, your products, your offers. And it's so funny because I mean, there is something for everyone out there. Last night, Dee and I were in a Zoom meeting, and we had an entrepreneurs group that was
Mm-hmm.
actually a Houston group, and one young woman said, you know, I'm scared to death because I'm a fitness instructor and nobody's coming to the gym, and I don't know what to do, and I can't go to their house either right now, and Dee and I were like, my goodness, you can do yoga for children. Mothers are dying to put their kids in front of something to do exercise that they don't have to
Yes,
leave right now.
absolutely.
So there's always that little spark of something that makes it so you is what we're looking for. So make a big impact with your gifts, your programs, your products, and your offers, and be discovered for who you are uniquely you. And number four, of course, because being a podcast or a summit host, I've been both. Dee's been both a podcast and a summit host. Is very low risk, by the way, high converting. That is like, you know, because the KLT, because people know you, like you, and trust you, it sells when people have you this close to them and able to do that. And so the other way that we do it is by adding credibility, and how do we do that as quickly as, like you and I said, D, 90 days? It's very
Mm-hmm.
simple. We do that because we're able to, you use our team. We have a team of producers that's going to help do that. And I'll get to that in a minute. But this is one of my favorite sayings, I think. If you're worried about what you're going to do, worrying is like praying for something that you don't want to happen, because
Uh,
you're bringing it into the universe. You're worried about it. Now it's going to change your life. You don't know what to say. You don't know what to do. And the more you think of it, the more it's happening. It's starting to happen, right?
yes.
So, our promise to you is that instead of worry, let's put together the very best strategy in the world to define who you are, what kind of a summit, what kind of guests you'd like to have on there. We have executives and producers working for you right now that have extensive experience in production and creating content. And we have a whole team that's ready if you want to take this to the far end level, or
I
you want to
do.
pitch a show to one of the networks. I can We can do that for you as well. So I mean, depending on how much you want to tip your toe in the water or jump in with both feet, we're ready to handle both ends of that. So we're ready to help in any way that we can. So who am I? I think we talked a little bit about me a little while ago, but I was hoping and praying last year, Dee, that I would at least finish my first book, and I did finish it, and it was in 6 business categories, #1 bestseller,
Woohoo!
and I was thrilled to death. And then thanks to some author named Dee Collins, I ended up in a second book that I didn't even know was a wonderful surprise. And gosh, Dee, you just blow me away. It's a book called Muscle Memory Millionaire, and
Yes.
yeah, I just love it. So you guys have to pick that up if you haven't seen that. And then there's a third book that you and I are both in called Game Changers, #4.
Yes. You
So
know
we
what?
ended up in 3 books in 2020 instead
You
of
know what's
one.
crazy about the Game Changer book? I
Huh.
was actually in an office today, and I went back into the copy room and I was looking for something, and I came across like an earlier edition of the Game Changer book from 2015.
Oh
And I
my
was like,
goodness.
and I was like, I've been like carrying the book around to try to find out who it belongs to, because I'm gonna be like, I'm totally in volume 4 of this book.
So I mean, little things like that, they come in handy. And I mean, talk about building street cred, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I've also been the producer of the Latin Grammys, again, Family Feud, American Idol. You know, I also did my own directing and casting for quite a few shows there that we had on Valley Cable Television. And then you know, I'm very proud of having my own little company and being able to do what I want and live how I want. And we, you know, we talk about President Bush there, but I guess the most important thing of all is more, you know, who you are here. So I wanted uh, part of one of the chapters of my book explains to baby boomers, because there's so many of us right now
Yes.
that are I mean, I'm 20 days away from my 65th birthday,
Get
D.
out
So
of here.
yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
stop it.
April
I
the
don't
8th.
have liars on my summits, Tony. Like, that's not even possible.
Hey, I'm proud of it. Trust me. I didn't know I was going to make it this long.
You look phenomenal.
Thank you. So, yeah, April 8th. So that's a big day for us. I guess what I'm trying to say is that in that book, I realized that very, very quickly in this country, we're going to go from 45 to 48 million baby boomers who have been laid off, fired, or separated from their jobs.
Wow.
But it's going to, within 8 years, they're saying 8 to 10 years, we're going to hit 60, 65 million.
Get out of here.
No, I'm not. Trust me, we baby boomers are nowhere ready for this. I mean,
That is crazy.
it's scary, and there's
Wow.
not any social systems in the world that are capable of handling this kind of a load.
Right.
So
Yeah.
things, you
And we
know,
need to
things
be
have to be
ready.
different.
And
Well, yeah.
thank you for helping people get ready. You know, thank you
Thank you.
for targeting those people that need your help.
Thank you, Dee. And the reason I brought that up is because in my book, you have 4 roads that you can take, right, as a baby boomer. You can brush off your resume and go look for another job. You can buy a franchise, but be careful with those because you end up encumbering your 401k. And if somebody gets sick and you can't open the Starbucks, you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 is become a mentor. And so many of us baby boomers have so much to offer and give and get our movements out there and our messages out there. They just don't know how to become a mentor. So if you notice, I'm the founder of my radio show and podcast, The World Class Mentors. That show is dedicated. It's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, it's on Spreaker, it's on, you know, all cloud, SoundCloud. It's on all of the various podcast medias. But the main reason that I wanted to bring that show to fruition is because that literally shows you what mentors did to world-class experts, world-class people. And so I call your mentors the world-class mentors because you're world-class. And so that's why I started that show, is to show them route number 3. And then of course, route number 4 is to become an entrepreneur. And so at that point, I hope that you come to us and say, you know what, I do want to start a company. I have no clue what I'm doing. Let's do a business plan, marketing plan. Let's figure it out. And let's see what we need to do to get us online. And so that's kind of why I brought this up, is that it was just important to me to have the World Class Mentors as a podcast and radio show. But this year is we've started pre-production on the new TV show, The World Class Mentors.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So
Woohoo. And thank you for having me as a guest on the World Class Mentors. And I'm looking forward to coming on again. So, you know, you got my number. Let your people
Christy,
do
we
what
got
my
some work to
people.
do. So, you know, a lot of folks that we talk to, Dee, have been doing some recordings. They've started, you know, kind of doing their little phone and all that kind of stuff. So, so I wanted to give people a chance and a hope that whatever you might have from 2019, we may be able to repurpose that video. And I'm going to give you that in just a few minutes. That's going to be one of our gifts. Is I'd like to have some of my team work with you and your team and see what you've got, and maybe We've got some great moments, you know, some golden nuggets that you may have come up with. I would like to review what you did in 2019, and we can go from there. And so, I mean, think about it. Did you record any videos? Did you attend any live events and have photos of you with the group? We've got plenty. I know Dee and I do. Were you the guest speaker or a featured speaker on anyone's stage? You know, when I was teaching people how to create their acting resumes, you're gonna laugh at me, but sometimes they had like no experience on theater, no experience on TV, no experience on camera. So I would tell them, listen to me. I don't care if you were a tree in Peter Pan in the 3rd grade. That you put down that you were a supporting character in Peter Pan, and it was at, you know, at all of high school productions, you know, whoever the school was, but at least you have been on stage and you do know, you know, what you've done. What's important, and the reason that this slide is so strong, is because every single one of our celebrities, if they want to start off as a speaker, I need to get, you know, eventually you're going to need a sizzle reel, an intro reel, and a movement reel, or one of the other, you know, okay? And so at this point, I'll explain it to you. A sizzle reel is maybe 30 to 45 seconds of something, a camera behind you while you're high-fiving, while you're running up to the stage. The sizzle reel is what makes people excited to hear what you have to say because they're just so impressed with you, right? The intro reel is the one that actually tells a story. It could be, you know, well, Dee started here, she had this book here, she wrote these poems here, she, you know, published this book here, there's, you know, 27 books in the process. So there's a full introduction of who you are so that everybody in the audience knows exactly what you want to say about you, to introduce you. And then the last one is, of course, is your movement reel. This is what your movement is about. And let me explain. Act 2, Your Show Must Go On, is my movement towards helping baby boomers find themselves, their jobs, their mission, their vision, their message. And what we do with that is create a movement story about what it is that's happening. And so, and how, what your dreams are to fix that issue or that problem.
Mhm.
And so if you've got anything that I can use, including Polaroids, for God's sake, you know, let me know, because we do need some of these to start creating that sizzle. So if you've just started in 2020, start with the sizzle. Start making sure that even if you ran up on the stage during lunchtime and you act like you've got a microphone, have somebody shoot you with a phone. Okay, can't say that too loud.
Shoot you as far as picture, not like gunshot.
Yes,
So,
no Texas shooting, regular shooting.
Put you on the spot right now, and I want to ask, because I've been into, you know, drama, acting. You know that I'm a public speaker, and that I travel and speak. But I would like to ask you right now, in front of the entire world on the Wonderful Business World Web Summit, if you would like help me, like be my manager, my agent, help me get booked, help put me out there in the world. I am challenging you right now to bring out my inner celebrity.
Oh, this is going to be fun, guys. We're going to be fun.
And it might be mission impossible, but I love the saying that nothing is impossible. The very word itself says, I'm possible.
I'm possible. I love
Yes.
that. Yes, yes, I love that. And yes, absolutely. So
you focus on the baby boomers, but you can help people in multiple generations, right? Across all generations you work.
Absolutely.
The majority of the people that you're working with are the baby boomers, because there is that definite issue that they're facing right now, and so many of them, and more every day. However, no matter how what generation you come from, no matter how old or young you are, Tony Kaufman has something that can help you.
I love it, Dee.
I know it.
Oh my goodness. All right, so let's go to the next slide, because now you're kind of getting the idea of what I'm looking for when you and I first talk. And so uh, we can repurpose your existing video if you have a photo library or existing video of everything that you did in 2019. We could call it the best of, or the fastest way to get your authority is to get a reel where you've got, I said this, and it's all pretty informative, and you came across well, you were strong, how many stages you were on. So repurposing video is really important if you're just starting and trying to get started, because you may have something there that I can use to help you, pedal your bicycle faster. Right? So did you talk on summits? I mean, you should definitely do like screen captures of summits, of wherever you've spoken. Or do you need to get on summits? Because we can also work on that. So how many recordings did you make of your coaching, of your offer, of your mentoring? Whenever you, just like we're recording right now, whenever you're in with a client, record the conversation. You never know what's going to come out, what kind of good question they ask, how you handle the answer. That's gold. That's video gold, by the way. So always, just in case, just record it. Plus, the other thing that we try to help Dia, that we would start with you, is I want to do your media kit. We would have to get your media kit to get you up.
I need that.
Speaker bio goes in the media kit, and then that we do it digitally, so that whenever you apply for a speaking position, because there's a lot, the paid speakers have to submit to the request for paid speakers. And so how you fill it out, what you put in it, how you talk to the event manager or the person who's in charge of getting the speakers, I mean, that makes all the difference in the world. It really does. So this is it. Let's do it together and professionally, and let me help you, because that's exactly what I'm offering. So it's time to look through.
Let me just interrupt you real quick. I do apologize for the interruption, but we have about 9-10 minutes. And so I just want to make sure that you're able to get the rest of your information out, and then give people time so that we can get the free gift, the wrap up, and to make sure that they have contact information for you, because that's vital.
Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it.
Okay.
Left, and then I'm just going to give them the free thing. Yeah, because we're here. So the next slide is, topics. We ready?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So it's time. You're going to cut that out, right?
No, we're just going raw. So.
All right. So when you work with me, I'll actually edit the video.
Yes, she's much better than I am.
So it's time to look through what you've accomplished so far. It's so funny. People have a tendency to downplay what they've done, how much they've worked, what they've accomplished. And it's so funny. I mean, some people work all their lives and work to support, their family, and after their family, somebody got sick and they supported their mother, and then they supported their father, and sometimes that is, the greatest accomplishment in your life, is how much you actually gave. Because as a coach, as a consultant, as a teacher, as a speaker, you're going to have some pretty powerful stuff to talk about to others who need to hear it. When you really think about it, all of the, not necessarily the millennials, but the generation, what was it, the Xers, the ones right after the baby boomers. I mean, they're getting ready right now to start taking care of their parents. And this is, as someone who took care of my parent for 5 years, it is probably the hardest thing that they will ever have to do.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. And so, there's a lot of changes coming. So it's time to look through what you've accomplished thus far, because sometimes that's your story. And that's something else that I'd love to talk with people about, if they don't know what their program is, what they want to talk about, what they want to teach. I guarantee you that every single speaker that's up there has had 5 or 6 programs in their mind that have never come to fruition, but we ended up with one that nobody would sell. So it's good to talk to people that have been doing this for a while and are successful at this, because you just never know. Anyway, so if you have a desire to make a big impact, if you want more freedom in your life and business, and you're willing to put in the work, well, that sounds like writing a book, Dee. What it takes to achieve, this is what I wanted to show you. And I have one slide that's hidden that I'm going to unhide just for you. Hold on one second, because this is a question that I do get pretty often. Is what in the world, and of course, just because I'm saying that, what in the world would I talk about if I was to have an online summit? Let me explain an online summit. An online summit is where you get to shine as the host of a summit, and you get to interview 15 people, like 5 people a day for 3 days. 15 interviews will eventually turn into 15 episodes of your TV show. And so you have 16 weeks worth of, you have 4 months worth of shows that you did in 3 days. And all you had to do was play the host to some incredible speakers, like what Dee's doing right now.
Yeah, and I'm gonna need a copy of this slide. I'm like looking at it right now, like, because I'm hosting the summit, can I like get a copy of this?
You bet. But I mean, there's thousands of ideas. I mean, you can do something on crafts, on pets, on technology, travel, how to plan a wedding, how to be an event planner. I mean, how to start a company, how to incorporate a company, whatever it is, how to do anything. God, health and wellness right now is, like, of course, the number one thing that everybody's interviewing for.
Mhm.
But there are so many ideas. And by the way, this is a cute slide, but I have to tell you something. I went to Google and I Googled summit ideas, and this was one of the first images that popped out. I didn't even make it. This is how important creating a summit is, and how easy it is to create one. So this is very doable. It takes us probably 3 to 4 weeks to set it up at the beginning. Takes you 3 days to get through it. And then it would take us about 90 days to do all the editing to start populating your show. And your show is there. We happen to have a wonderful connection with the entrepreneursnetwork.tv. And that is really, this is another slide that says that everybody's doing it, so do it. So let me see if I can get it. Entrepreneurs TV has more than 50, it's ETVN, and it has more than 50 networks already associated with that. And my job is to find content for this internet television station. It's a whole network where you can have your own channel, and you can put anything you want on that channel, and you can have as much data and as much stuff and as many recordings as you can on that channel. So basically you would have the D channel or the Be Alive channel, whatever you want to call it.
Own show, but you're trying to tell me not only can I have my own show, I can have my own channel. Like,
you can have, yes.
I'm so huge right now.
So that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you, Dee, is that it's so much simpler. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna go up. So what does it take to do? We've talked about the celebrity within. Now we're talking about getting you massive promotion and publicity. We're doing that by creating an online summit that in 3 days we'll have you as the host of it. That becomes your TV show in 90 days. So now you've got summit, now you've got street credibility, you've got your credentials. And the neat thing about creating a summit is that all of your speakers would probably agree to email their lists to get them to register to come watch you be interviewed. And that is also the fastest way in the world to build a list of leads.
It is. It's phenomenal, huge, quick, easy, collaborative. It's just the best way and the quickest way to increase your list and
it gets
build it.
exciting because I mean, God, you get some great speakers. I mean, I've seen your previous ones, Dee,
Mhm.
but honestly, this is the bottom line. The program is for you if you're ready to shine and you're skilled at what you do, and now it's time to get it out. By the way, part of what I teach you is how to be a good host. And so, we talk about who your guests are going to be, what 5 questions they want you to ask them. So basically, we produce the entire thing, guests and everything that are offering, that kind of thing. So your expertise, plus your world videos and photographs, plus a sizzle reel, your speaker bio and media kit. And then, of course, KLT plays a big part in this. Plus, we'll try to get you as much content as possible for 1 season of episodes on your TV show at entrepreneursnetwork.tv. And all I can say is you're not going to be alone through this process. And so what I'd like to do right now, Dee, is I'd like to, I believe on the chat, let me see if I can get it back.
They may not be able to see the chat on this once we air it, but
Okay.
you're going to send me the information and they will see comments and they will be able to comment on this video as it plays. So I'm going to be putting a lot of information in the comments, and we invite people to post their own comments. I also just want to give you a testimonial right now, because you have worked with me in the past on helping to produce summit that I did, the Monumental Monetization Masterclass, and just having the producers working with me and contacting my speakers and helping me get everything set up and organizing for me, it just took a huge load off of me, made it so easy, and it was just a no-brainer that, working with you guys and your team was an absolute joy. So I do recommend that. And that was just the summit piece, but you guys are also working with different colleagues of mine, and you're going to be working with me in the future to put that content on my own television show, on my own channel, on the Entrepreneurs TV network. So I'm super excited. Thank you for helping make all my dreams come true. And we are just about out of time. So is there any last minute?
This is it. I'm going, it's not even a painful. Here's what can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I'm going to do for every single person that does this. You need to grab your phone and text, please, to number 474747. Text the word Toni, T-O-N-I, and just set up an appointment. We're going to do we're going to play 3 games. Number 1, are you camera ready? If you want to have a full makeup makeover between you and me on a virtual camera, I'm going to kick this off of here now. Hold on 1 second. Let's get back to here. All right. So if you want to have a virtual one-on-one session with me where you lay out all your makeup and I'll show you how to use it, how to put it on so that you're camera ready, I'm offering that for free. So do 474747 and text the word Toni to me. And that way you can set your appointment. And D, I have the second one is we want to give away to anyone who wants to reserve a meeting with me, a 30-minute one-on-one session to review what you have recorded from last year. And
Okay.
yeah, and so we could review what you've got and see if you've got a pile of gold sitting there. And I'd like very much to help you with that. So we got 2 big gifts. And then the third one is if you're serious about doing a summit, we can do a summit that you would not believe. I'm not even going to give you a price because Dee will kill me. But I mean, this is probably 90% off.
Oh, wow. So,
if you're serious about having a summit or serious about moving into TV,
I want all of these goodies for myself. You've already given me a complimentary session with you. I want another one. I want everything that you're offering everybody else on the summit. I want it again, even if you've already given it to me.
Thank you, Dee. You're wonderful.
Okay.
So yes, let's find out. Do you want to do a makeover? Do you want to review all your videos from last year and see what we can use? Repurposing. And the third one is if you're serious about doing a summit because you would like to have your own TV channel, or if you want to have your own TV channel and you've already got a bunch of recordings ready, I will make sure, Dee, that they have 3 months for free on ETVN. That's worth over $300. And they can have
Great.
3 months for free to start setting up your channel, and I'll help you with that.
Okay, that's super awesome. Thank you so much again. We have Toni Kaufman that has been with us from KDDM Inc., showing you how to go quickly from Web Summit to TV. And she's going to, take all of the guesswork out of it, show you how to do everything, completely support you, give you everything that you need, answer all of your questions. She gave you the freebies. You want to make sure that you text the word Toni, T-O-N-I. Text Toni to 474747, and you will get an auto response to help give you some of those free gifts. We will post in the comments on this broadcast so that you can make sure that you have the information that you need to cash in on those free gifts. Remember that as these talks air, they're free. It's free to register for this wonderful Business World Web Summit. All of the replays are free because I'm going free crazy. I'm setting the world free. I'm setting your inner celebrity free. I just want to make it free. I just want to share. I just want to give. And I'm not exactly sure what the next talk is going to be. If you saw me looking down during the broadcast, I was trying to look up the schedule to see we are rearranging the schedule. So it may not be in the order that it first was that we had listed on the schedule. I'm going to do my best, since I'm running the summit, to make it the way that I want to. So this is what I would love to happen. I can't, make a 100% promise that this is going to happen, but I'm going to see if I can make our next speaker, Kimberly Hofscheid. She has a company called I'm Hearing Stories, and she will show you how to create, get it done, and publish an audio book in 60 days or less. Her talk is absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to see it again. I watched it just by myself in the privacy of my own home because it was that good. So I'm going to do.
Hey, Dee, if Kimberly's going to be, get all your cell phones and all your charging stuff right around your computer, because Kimberly comes at you like a 1,500-volt battery.
Okay, a lightning bolt is going to come out of the screen while she is talking, and it's going to hit you right here, because, she's going to give me some ideas. I'm sorry there's a delayed response on my video. I think my internet connection is unstable, but hopefully you can hear everything that I'm saying. Yeah. And the reason I'm going to position it, because talking about bringing out the celebrity within is perfect for that, because that's one point of it. So I'm going to do my best to position Kimberly right after this talk that you will want to tune into. Go grab a snack right after we go off, go grab some water, go call your neighbor, watch, and make sure that you watch it, because after Kimberly's talk on how to do your own audio book in 60 days or less, how to create it, how to publish it, how to get it done, then I'm going to come on after Kimberly, and I'm going to tell you how to publish with purpose and profit. So I'm going to tell you how to publish with purpose and profit. That's going to be after Kimberly's audiobook session from her company, I'm Hearing Stories. And so if you need help with publishing, watch my talk after you watch her talk, and then watch her talk again, because after you watch her, I'm going to help you publish the book, then help you convert it to an audio book, and then watch Toni's talk again, and she's going to help bring out the celebrity within. So thank you again so much for being with us, Toni. We are completely out of time right now. Thank you for tuning in. Please tune into as many talks as you can. It's not too late to register. You can share this with someone. If you need information, just contact us. You can email me at d@successcreationacademy.com. That's d@successcreationacademy.com. That's DEE@successcreationacademy.com. If you have any questions, or if you need the registration link to share with a friend, or however you registered, you can share that post or that link, but put it on, because remember, the replays are free, and we want to make sure that everyone has access to, I mean, there are so many phenomenal talks. We have joint venture talks on here. We have talks on how to retire. We have talks on how to start your own nonprofit and be profitable with a nonprofit. We have talks on, like I said, joint venture partnerships. We have talks on how to eliminate money blocks. I'm just trying to think off of the top of my head. There's just like so many phenomenal talks on this summit that you're going to want to watch them. You're going to want to watch the replays, and you're going to want to share them with others. I'm Dee Collins with Success Creation Academy, Inc. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Tony, for being with us. And we can't wait to see you again on the next summit. So goodbye, everybody. And remember to post in the comments.